So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the shop. Today things are looking a little different in here. We've got the old boat rolled in. The new boat is outside enjoying a little bit of Florida sunshine. We're starting a strip down process. So got the console pulled out already. Big old mess of wires and rigging sitting there. And in this episode, we're gonna start moving everything over. So stay tuned. The first thing we did was pull this tower off the other day. Remy was absolutely no help with that, right? Good thing about fly-by-wire motors, and that's your rigging. It's literally one big old harness, a couple wires for the hydraulic lines and the nav lights, and that was it. So that's of course getting put back on. That was the main reason we decided to tear this down and donate everything from the old boat, because we really wanted a tower and we had a perfectly good one. So we also have a perfectly good motor. It's a L6 Verado 250. Needs some paint on the cowling, but that's going to get done in the future. Power pole's coming. Porter bracket is staying though. That's going to get sold with this haul because, well, it's got a full transom. It's designed for it. So this is actually a boat I did a couple years back, and God, it's been run hard. We've had a lot of fun in that boat. We've caught a lot of fish. So the only reason we really are switching everything over is I've named this the fat bottom girl instead of the flat back. It's the fat back because it's the deeper V model. It's the 250. They are known for their smoother ride, more offshore capability, but that comes with about an 18-inch draft. Maybe a little more on some days, fully loaded. Yeah, just honestly around here, we fish a lot on the flats. We fish in a lot of, 12 to 16 inch water. It really doesn't seem like that big of a difference, but when you're on the edge of a flat and you see a school of redfish pushing, hopefully that one will help us get into it a little better. Hi, Maya. All right, quick look inside this old console. I guess not old, it's a couple years old. It's filthy. Got a bunch of wires hanging everywhere, but God, this was kind of pretty just a couple days ago. But it'll get pretty again, don't you worry. So anyways, plan on this, freshen this up some. I go ahead and repaint it and pull everything off the front real quick. Get it all cleaned up, repainted, touch up a few things. Mount it back in there. And this is the carnage left after I pulled that console out. Crap everywhere. Can you tell where it was? God, it gets so dirty underneath these things. A bunch of wires. A bunch of stuff to clean up. And just like that, it's cleaned up. All right, got everything out of the boat that's coming out of the boat. Got everything over there on the table. So now that's the mess. So this is pretty much stripped down. And I'm gonna turn my attention to the console now. Plan is going to be to remove everything off of it, clean it up real good, and repaint it to match, the interior of that boat. So I already have the paint there, so we're gonna put it to use. So let's go. All right, welcome to my office. Living inside the console here for a little bit, getting everything disconnected. Got it set up on a handful of sawhorses here. Fan blowing right on me. So gonna de-rig all this stuff so I can pull it out so we can paint this sucker. So started with this. Everything has been very much labeled, like to the exact place that it goes back. The bottom lug on this, post. So when I'm putting everything back together, we know exactly where everything goes. Should make it a much quicker process. All right, this is the outside view. That's where I've been spending the last hour or so. So yeah, here we go. Ready to pull everything out. Well, Looking a little different inside of here. Lid's off, doors off, speakers are out. It's empty on the front. And it's all laying right here. Yeah, what a mess. So anyways, yeah, it's all out. Time to start cleaning this thing up because God, it is filthy. And it needs some paint. We're gonna clean all this up. We're gonna figure this all out. This is getting filled. I had a sub in there. Just, it didn't perform well. Didn't like it. I think I actually had the cutout somewhere in this bin of scraps. Every time I cut something out, I leave it. So you'll never know when you need a backing plate or whatnot. But anyways, so yeah, next step, cleaning up. Well, the old trash heap wins out. Look what I found. Boop. Done. Make that a lot easier to fill. Got everything sanded yesterday. Looking, you know, a couple colors, but cleaner for sure. Scraped all that gasket off of there. Everything's dusty as crap inside. Plan for today, get some cleaner. Get this mildew off of this panel, get that cleaned up, get all the dust out of it, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I gotta finish sanding that, but overall, yeah, we're about 80% there. Do wanna re-glass a couple little cracks here. This whole livewell cooler thing, this is all made out of Coosa. Built that, you know, obviously it's just a normal console, and then I built the thing around there for the tower mount legs mainly. Gave me a nice little cooler. Had it plumbed for a live well. Would use every now and then for, you know, small amounts of bait. Throw a fish in there if I needed to. But yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, a little moldy. Using some of this mildew stain eraser. It's basically just bleach water. Very, very conservatively kind of spritzing some on there, getting a little damp, going through with a paintbrush and just kind of working it around, and then blowing all the excess off. All this stuff is water resistant, but obviously I don't want water soaking in the amp, but a little splash won't hurt it. So anyways, getting this cleaned up. All right, live well parts cleaned out. This board is pretty much cleaned up. You notice I just took this one out. I wonder where it was. That one was just screwed in. It's sitting over there on the table. This one was screwed in, but it also has a bunch of 5200 behind it. That panel was starboard. This one is a piece of honeycomb that I laminated up. So it did not want to come off without causing damage. So I just scrubbed it up in place. May spray a little more mildew killer in here before I button this up. It's pretty gross. But overall, yeah, looking a lot better than it did. So let's move to phase next, which is getting this reinstalled, start fairing up a couple things, lay a little glass on a couple spots, and get it ready to go not in there, but in there. Okay, got the little fiberglass set up here to go. This is all cleaned up, acetone, sanded, wiped. I'm not sanding every bit of gel coat off of this. It's not structural at all, and you can fiberglass over a little bit of gel coat as long as it's cleaned up. No big deal there. Same thing over here. This is all kind of ground out. There's a little crack there. I've rounded that over a little more. Just putting a couple layers of chop on there. Firm that up. This little tip here too, I'm using 1.5 ounce chop strand, but sometimes that doesn't want to bend around corners as easy. So just know that most chop strand, 1.5 ounces is actually just 2 3/4 ounce pieces of chop strand that are just binded together. So no sense in going out and buying more of the lighter stuff. If you've got the heavier stuff, All right, just mix some fumed silica up with some resin into a little putty. Everybody knows how to do this. You've all seen it a million times. Catalyze that, and this is going to be to glue this that core piece back into place. Let's go butter this up. Did go through, I've acetone the heck out of this. You saw me spraying stuff with the hose earlier, but don't worry, I dried all this off really well. It's been an hour or two at least since I was doing that, so no worries of moisture. Also acetoned in there, because that'll suck up a little bit of the moisture. It'll dissolve it out a little bit. Again, I'm happy I kept that piece. Sometimes you never know when you're going to need something, especially with speakers or whatever. You may decide on different placements or whatnot, so it's nice to have the piece you cut out in case it doesn't work out. It's easier to put back together. Lob that in there pretty heavy. It's going to be gooping out all over the back. I don't have a ton of access to the back, but I do have some. Yeah, it just made my life so much easier. Yeah. Doopy back there. Grab this guy. Get the excess off. It's easier to wipe it off when it's not cured than have to sand it all off when it is. Pre-wet that a little like I always like to do. And some of these thinnest little ripped up pieces first. This isn't quite a 90 degree. It was a pretty sharp angle, which is why it ended up splitting. But I will say that's one thing I actually really enjoy about, you know, when I do these. I mean, I built this, I guess it was just probably 2.5 years ago. And it is always nice to come back, you know, a couple years after and take something apart that you built to see what's held up and what could use improvement. And, you know, no shame in learning. And if you didn't do something exactly perfect the first time or wasn't quite strong enough, I will admit, hell, that wasn't the best. We'll learn from it. We'll do better the next time, hopefully. The thing on this speaker hole, I'm going to put some resin or some glass over this seam, not just rely on some silica and resin, because that will crack eventually. So even just a little bit of glass is going to help that from cracking out in the future. Gloves are getting sticky. All right, got my old friend the gantry back out. We're gonna snatch this motor off. All right, well, I guess there ain't much else to it but to do it. So let's pull this tight. Yep, it's got some tension on it. Start on this side. That was the one. Okay. It was that top bolt was hung up on there. No friction. Soften out of the way. Motor is completely loose. Hang these steering lines down here. Voila. We'll drive the truck out of the way. There we go. Rigging's there. Boat is bare. Motor's hanging up in the air. Wow, that was awful, Mike. Good job. All right, let me get this out of the way. All right, a little boat swapperoo. New boat's back in the shop. The boat's out there in the driveway. Fence is closed. I got the dogs out. There we go. Backing this thing in and realize I didn't address why am I not just putting that motor on here now? And that's because I'm going to swap these trailers first. That is a brand new trailer. This is a piece of crap shop trailer that came with the boat. Actually, I mean, it fits the boat. I mean, you know, it's lasted for 50 years, probably 40 years, who knows. But anyway, so I've got a brand new torsion axle trailer out there on that boat. And this one is sitting way too far back on this trailer. You see there the bunks end. So before I go hanging 600 plus pounds there and stick the nose of this thing up in the air, I'm gonna go ahead and swap the trailers and get this one fitted on that trailer properly, then back it in, hook the motor up. So it's all a process. I got my list there. Very important once you get to this stage, you just gotta start writing down what's happening when. But that's why I'm not swapping trailers, or that's why I'm not just hanging that motor on that bracket right now and being done with it. All right, went in through the console back in the boat. Well, not back in the boat, but in the boat for the first time. And this is how much room I picked up by swapping back to a smaller console. So definitely worth it. I mean, this is a lot here. You know, I'm gonna have to get some more non-skid, fill that in. That's nothing. That's easy. I'll do that in about 10 minutes. So plan now, glass console down. You can see it's sitting up a little bit because of that drain right down there. So I marked that. I'm going to move it, drill a hole, put a drain hose on it, run it back. Still have my access in the floor that I was hoping for. So the batteries will be able to go down there, get out of the way. Might make a little false door or something. So I have more storage in there. I don't know. We'll get there. But since I'm painting this, I've also decided to paint this. It's just the way things go. I have it set. I have the backrest on it, and it's done and ready. And I'm like, nah, it's got a couple pinholes in it. I'm not really happy with it. So, you know, it's the problem with restoring a boat is you never decide what's good enough and when you're going to quit and go fishing. So we sanded all this down. Burned gel coat a couple times, no big deal. It's just, yeah, I don't know if it'll even pick these up. It had a lot of pinholes. I wasn't really happy with the orange peel and everything on it. So if I'm going to paint that, I'm going to as well paint this so it all matches. It'll all look nice. But yeah, first, drill that hole, install that drain hose, and then put this in place and glass this down. I did not paint this out of the boat because I knew it was going to come in and get glassed down. So once it's all glassed down, faired in, cleaned up, Then I'll paint it all, paint everything at once. But there's the stuff sitting there. So anyways, yeah, took some towels and threw them over the motor that was hanging up there just to keep all the dust off of it while I was sanding that, and get working on this, and then hopefully jump back over to swapping the trailers out so I can hang that motor and get it out of the way. Got the glass around the floor, around the console ground out, just a couple inches around it, all the way around. Already done the base of the console. So good old acetone bath, clean this up real nice. We'll go find that tabbing glass and put the sucker in for good. Going to start out here with some putty for squirting around this console. Got a little piping bag here, so mix this up, catalyze it, dump it in this bag, cut the tip off, pipe it around the bottom of that console, and then go back. I've got a bunch of glass strips cut to size, cardboard box there to roll it out on, wet it out on, and get this console down. All right, take a look at what we're starting with. Glass is all cut. Got a piece of cardboard here to wet this out on so I'm not getting resin all over the ground. Everything's been wiped down, cleaned up. Strips cut for all the way around. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the putty, put it in that little gap. There's a small gap, but there's a little seam there. Putty that, and then wet out this glass and press it on so that it conforms to that little bend there. It'll mold that putty right down in the shape. I'm not going to kick that too hot because things have been moving fast today or this week with the heat. So let's get going. All right, piping bag here. Get these, I don't know, I stole them from my wife, but she just gets these from the craft store or Michael's, who knows where. Cake decorating bags, really all it is. Seems to work as well. It's not a little better than a Ziploc. It's definitely a touch easier. Did a light bead at first because I wanted to make sure I had enough to get around. Now I'll go back around and add a little more to the spots that got a little light. Okay, that on. Got a little bit left in the tub here that I wasn't able to scoop into the bag, so I'm just gonna do that the old-fashioned way. Clump it in there where I think we need to go. Not super worried about getting a good shape on this because it's gonna get pushed all around with the brush when I lay this when I lay this cloth on there. Gosh, I think we had about a perfect amount here. All right, and again, I kicked this pretty weak, probably only about 1%, because it's hot, it's been hot, and I don't need this stuff kicking off before I can get all this laid out. So, if you guys have seen me do before, if you've ever watched, hopefully you have, I like to wet out the backside of all this 1708 first. Gets on that chop, helps soak it in. I found it soaks it a lot better if you wet it out from the backside first. before you flip it over, put it in place, and then wet out the top. Piece of cardboard always does a trick. Quick and easy way of not making a mess all over your boat. And with that putty still being really fresh underneath, hasn't even started to kick. You can see it's squirting out the side there. It's nice and loose still. Mold around, go right where I need it to go, make a perfect little fillet. Okay, work my way around before this starts to kick. Come back and pretty it all up in a minute, knowing that once you get this out of the cup and spread out, you get a little more working time. And if you leave it in there and let it just start boiling. So that's that. I'm gonna go around the whole boat. Once I get over there, you're not gonna be able to see me, so I'm not gonna film the whole thing, but it's what it's gonna look like. All right, there we go. That went on good. Went around, like I said, that sticks out a little bit. Let's see if I can get that angle. I'm not worried about that because I put that other little piece of glass around the corner, so that'll just get sanded out. And catch any drips, clean them up now. And yeah, I mean, it looks like wet fiberglass. So, did get just in time, see right here, that little bubble. It's not a bubble, that's actually a clump of that putty underneath that started to firm up. So, had just enough working time. I know, like I said, I didn't film the whole thing, but I kind of had to, you know, quit focusing on the camera and get this glass down because I knew it was going to kick fast because 90 degrees in here right now. So anyways, walk away. Toss the box on the ground, clean up some breeze. Just going to let that kick. And over here and check one more thing off the list. So next I'm going to fair that out, prep it for paint, and then paint the console and the live well. Hopefully at some point I'll get these trailers swapped out and then I can hang that motor. All right, guys, I am going to cut this one now. This is actually in the future. I'm editing these videos and I realized that this one's gonna run long. I got a lot of footage. Editing takes forever. So I'm about 2 videos ahead in real life than I am putting stuff out on YouTube. So I'm going to cut this one of the 2 videos. I've got all the footage, everything in process for the next one. So it'll be a fast follow on the second video. So make sure and subscribe if you want to see that. And hopefully I'll get caught up here and I'll have a handful of videos coming out, you know, one after another for the next week or 2. Because little secret, that boat's on the water. So if y'all want to see it, stay tuned and talk soon.